Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good night. My name is Luthfi Nicola Sereni, and I am an English education student. I'm going to register for my bachelor thesis hearing. And tonight, I would like to present what I have written in my bachelor thesis to all of the audience. However, before all of that, I would like to say thank you for anyone who has been helping me writing this bachelor thesis and give their support to me to finish this bachelor study. Like my advisors, the first advisors, Mr. Elis Sutisnayanto, and the second advisors, Mr. Tauhidin Abbas, and the campus, the faculty, the major, and my parents, of course. Once again, I am grateful for their support. All right, let's start. So if you ask me what is the title of the bachelor thesis that I have been writing, and it's finished right now, I have submitted it to Sintar Journal 2, and it's been accepted to be published. So the title of my bachelor thesis is A Story of Southeast Asian TESOL. Why teach abroad, its opportunities and challenges. Well, it's probably going to, I just hope that from writing this bachelor thesis that it will give a good motivation for anyone reads them or reads it. Sorry, my mistakes. Now let's just continue. I hope I can explain all of this in 15 minutes. All right, so there are two special abbreviations that I often use in writing this bachelor thesis. You can access the file, just email me later on or access it to the major. So there are two abbreviations that I often use when writing this thesis. The first one is NET, or Native English Teacher. That means there are teachers who regards English as their mother tongue, as simple as that. And non-native English teachers, like us, people who were born not as native English speakers. Like me, I'm an Indonesian. My mother tongue is Indonesian, not English. I learned English as a foreign language. Now I think English is starting to become my second language. All right, let's move on. Let's make it quick. The rule says I must speak in 15 minutes. So in the beginning, I would like to tell you the purpose of my study. Why this study could bring benefits to all of you. TESOL, TEFL, especially in Indonesian context. Why I must say in Indonesian context? And there is a problem that I would like to propose in my thesis later on. And probably my thesis is one of the solution. Okay, yeah, just wait. So I just found out when I was writing this thesis, definitely this year specifically, yeah, that us non-native English teachers could actually teach abroad and receive better salary. So there is a gap here, before. These previous studies tells the experience, of course, of non-native English teachers teaching abroad, but they don't provide detailed information how these non-native English teachers could teach abroad. There is no detail how they apply, how they prepare, and I would like to fill the gap. I would like to fill the gap by providing more details on how you go abroad. This is the gap here, and this novelty that this study aims to be an experiential guide to teach abroad, especially for us. And also, I hope that by motivating you to teach abroad, we could have a better prosperity as a teachers than here. All right, let's move on. So probably some of you think that, do you think it's possible for us non-native English teachers to compete with native English teachers in teaching abroad? Well, there is something that's called native English teachers privilege, but it's something that is expected. After all, they are the one who has the language, right? So here's the thing. From the previous studies that I have been read, native English teachers possess superior linguistic skills, right? It's like me talking that I'm Indonesian. I have superior linguistic skills in communicating in Indonesian. That is something that you expect, right, from a native speakers. However, us non-native English teachers, we have learning experiences, and both could be a bad teachers or could be a good teachers, depend on the person. What defines a good teacher is his pedagogical knowledge and skills, and their attitude, of course, as a teachers. And also here, there are 4 things that I would like to discuss on my study. This is the 4 main information that I would like to present to the audience prior teaching abroad, preparation on teaching abroad, challenges and opportunities of teaching abroad, and teachers' reflections. The previous studies mostly discuss about the challenges and opportunities of teaching abroad, but there was no preparation or prior teaching abroad of the participants. Now, let's go to the background more deeper so you guys can understand why I decided to write this thesis. And I'm sorry if I'm kind of a little bit casual here. I just want to present as best as I can, and I'm absolutely sorry if there's any mistakes or some words that might hurt the audience feeling. So the first thing, that's why we can teach abroad despite we are not a non-native English speakers. Well, it starts from globalization. Globalization has a great impact towards English language. Since the globalization has begun, there is no border between countries again. English has become an international language. We share information, we study abroad, we transfer technology. English always involved, after all. And it's even in some international schools, some private company, they decided to make English as medium of instruction. That means they only communicate with English. You can find this in any institution or educational institution in the world. For example, Indonesia, in international schools, you study you study anything, any subject, and you must speak in English. So this effect impact the demand of the English teachers. So back then, most educational institutions prefer to hire native English teachers, right? It's good to learn with the natives. They said it was a good choice, but because the demand getting increased and increased every time, every day, finally, non-native English teachers are also demanded by this demand. For example, like in Thailand. In Thailand, they prefer to hire native English teachers back then, but right now they hire anyone. Even in previous studies that they discussed, they investigated those non-native English teachers in Thailand, non-native English teachers from Philippines, I mean. All right, let's focus to the other thing here. So there is, when we discuss about native English teachers and non-native English teachers, there is always a debate between which one is better. And I have told you this before, according to Mediges, that non-native English teachers, of course, they have superior linguistic competence. We cannot compete against their linguistic competence like speaking. Their accent, their grammar is expected to be better than us, of course. After all, they live their entire life with the language, right? Not like us, we need to learn about English. However, this disadvantage of non-native English teachers is also our advantage. We are rich in learning strategies and experience. We have the same struggle as our students. That is the benefits of the advantage that we have as non-native English teachers. However, in terms which one is better, well, both can be better. If you are native English speakers, but you don't know how to teach, I don't think you are going to be a good teacher. The same goes with non-native English teachers. If you are good in speaking English, but you don't know how to teach, well, the students won't learn much from you. So, so yeah, once again, I want to tell you why this study aims to motivate. So here's the thing. it comes from prosperity. Previous studies always reported the same motivation, the same first motivation why the participants decided to teach abroad. It's because of prosperity. If your country cannot pay for its teacher prosperity, then the teachers will go abroad, the workers will go abroad. Like in the case of Filipino teachers in Ula's manuscript, in Ula's article. Ula here investigated Filipino teachers, and the first thing they said why they decided to go abroad is because of prosperity problem. All right, let's move on. Remember, 15 minutes. All right, the research questions. So I only propose one research question here. What are preparation challenges and opportunities of non-native English teachers in teaching overseas? That's it. After all, it's just to inspire and motivating. I don't want to prove anything. I am just trying to motivate this. And I would like to tell you that the result of these studies is not to be generalized. Okay. All right, let's move on. Remember, 15 minutes would be. All right, let's go to the research methodology. What the author did to gather data and analyze it. Well, let's begin with the design. So because this is just trying to learn something from a person and try to interpret it and to try to get what can be learned from the person's story. So I decided to use narrative inquiry, especially the biography study. So basically we just listen to the story, read the story, and analyze the story. So this is my participant. Yeah. I use pseudonym to my participant. He is Rodriguez, a Filipino, 31 years old. He has bachelor in English education. He actually got two license, teaching license, TESOL certifications, and government mandated license. And his English proficiency is quite excellent. He received 7 in IELTS, and he's quite experienced too, 10 years in teaching English. Meanwhile, here I only have around 2 years of experience in teaching. He's a great candidate for our study here, my study here, actually. So I met Rodriguez on a Facebook group when I was conducting my TESOL certification program, online TESOL certification program, and I had problem, and I found him. He helped me a lot, and I think he will be a great role model for all of us here in Indonesia. So by only choosing one participant, there is no research site or terms of place or location in the study, because we are studying about a person story. And remember, the study does not aim to generalize. If we study other participants in wide range, probably it will offer more detailed information. If you want to generalize something, you need to conduct an experiment or something like that. But here, we don't do that. We just want to learn from this story. Okay, so I'm going to take a story from my participant, a story of him teaching abroad from preparation until what he does now, and what can we learn from his experience of teaching abroad. So the best way to do this only by using semi-structured interview. So I designed deductive theme according to previous studies. As I said before, the previous studies only mentioned the challenges and opportunities of teaching abroad. So I decided to add another 3 deductive themes. The questions I got from Frederickson here, and I adapted it a little bit here and there, and make sure that it suits the purpose of my research. You can access the question items later on. So the data analysis here, we use the thematic analysis I use thematic analysis by Brown and Clark. The process is will be after I conducted the interview, I do transcribing yeah, many times it was a very hard work, just transcribe everything that what he said, and then I will read the entire transcripts to see which data that is, you know, relevant for my study. Then I will use open coding just to give codes to the data and to see whether they are relevant or not. And to make sure that is more relevant to my study, I use group coding. Yeah. And then I display the data according to the deductive themes and use theoretical lens to discuss what happened on his story. Okay, now the findings. Well, I hope I can make it in 15 minutes. So what is the story of Rodriguez here that we can learn? All right. So the first deductive theme of my study is about prior teaching abroad, or before he teach, before he taught abroad, right? So I'm interested why he decided to choose English education as his major back then. So similarly, he's like me. He is like me. He decided to choose English education because it was the easiest major for him to finish. Just it's literally the same reason why I choose this major to begin with. Also after he graduated, he could not apply for teaching jobs because it was during a semester break. So in Philippines, you cannot apply as a teacher. I think it also applies here. You cannot apply as a teacher during a semester break. You need to wait until the beginning of the semester, then you can apply as a teacher. Well, surprisingly, in Philippines back then, 10 years ago, the salary in a private school, high-class private school back then, it's only around $150 a month. I don't think it's probably around 2 million rupiahs. Personally, I think the salary is quite small. It's quite small, just like us. All right. After months of teachings, he began to realize that the job was kind of pressuring for him. Too many paperwork, you know, those private high-class schools, they always have demands from the schools, from the parents. This kind of demands pressure him. It adds burden. He was stressed because of this pressure. And also, don't talk about the paperwork. The paperwork was too much back then. He said that it's more of doing paperwork rather than teaching itself. Well, that was quite, well, I understand his struggle. Also, when he was still in his country teaching in that private school, he also taught ESL students, Chinese and Korean students. So he was exposed to teaching ESL as early as possible. He said that there are many Chinese and Koreans who love to visit Philippines during winter break, and their visit give the Filipinos opportunities to, of course, increase their prosperity. One of the examples here, the one that conducted by Rodriguez, he took this opportunity as a job in teaching ESL to Chinese and Korean students. So let's move on to when he decided to go abroad. So I told you before that he was stressed teaching in private high-class school, right? And also the salary was not good, $150 a month. That is not really good. Even 10 years ago, still not good, $150 a month. It's only, yeah, it's not really good. And that's the only thing that I can say. So the first thing why he decided to teach abroad is prosperity. So he had enough of the pressure, he had enough of the small salary. The salary does not pay off the pressure, so he decided to teach abroad. I asked him what kind of preparation that he needs to do. Surprisingly, he only needed to bring his bachelor degree, teaching license, the government mandated teaching license, and his skills. And of course, there are some kind of documentation like his signed passport, something like that, but those are expected. Surprisingly, he didn't need to have TESOL certification, those 150 hours TESOL certifications or IELTS. He said that he didn't need that. Because of what? Because the employer was in his country. He was in the employer was in dire need to recruit an English teachers, and he was scouting in his country. Luckily, my participant Rodriguez here found this vacancy and applied. And also, he stated that it is not a hard things to do for Filipinos to apply to work abroad because the government supports it. They have some kind of official channel for any Filipinos who wants to teach abroad, like teachers, like nurses too. So after he applied for the job, there are challenges, of course, and opportunities that he could learn. If you like to read more about it, you can just read the manuscript. I'm just going to describe that point here. So the first thing that he encountered as a challenge here is cultural challenge, of course. He went to Saudi Arabia, and right now he is still teaching in Saudi Arabia. There are cultural challenges, of course, for example, customs. My participant here is not a Muslim. He said at the beginning it was hard for him to not be allowed to drink because Saudi Arabia is a Muslim country. Drinking liquor is not as free as in other countries, because Muslims don't drink liquor. So it was challenging for him at first because the custom was not, was not easy for him to be adapted to. And also the language, despite they said that English is an international language, but still, if you want to fulfill your daily necessities, you need to speak the locals' language, and the locals only speak Arabic. So that's it, cultural challenges, language and customs. Also, the next thing that happens is about homesickness. This is very common. Previous study also mentioned this. When you are so far away from home, he said that you will start to miss everything in your home country, like your family, the food, the environment, and something like that. But all of it, it's worth it because you get better prosperity later on. Yeah. Also, the opportunities that he received here, opportunities that he received. Sorry, that was the wrong slide. This is the right slide. I forgot to delete the wrong slide. So there are opportunities from these challenges that emerges. First, learning the native mother language to adapt, of course. You see that in his daily life, when he wants to buy his daily necessities into the market or just want to go somewhere, you cannot just expect every people that you meet there can speak English. So you need to learn the mother language of the people that live around you. That means he learns Arabic. He learns Arabic to speak, to fulfill his daily needs. So from these challenges, there is opportunity for you to be a bilingual person. You get high exposure, of course, because you need to use it every day. And also it helps him to teach ESL. You see, despite he is teaching ESL in Saudi Arabia and the students are expected to speak English with him, the students appreciate a lot if you try to speak in their mother tongue. That's what he told me about. This is what it's called unique and multicultural experience, in his ESL classroom. He does not only meet Arabian students, he also meets Indians, even Indonesians, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Japan, China, Korea students learning ESL in his classroom. That's very multicultural, right? With multicultural experience, it will help you a lot to develop as a person. And also he needs to communicate and collaborate with his co-workers, which is which they are also from different countries too. And also, don't forget about the main reason why he decided to go abroad, the prosperity. I saw here the institution that hired him decided to give him a flat, an apartment. That's a sign of good prosperity there. And also, he said that the pay was really good, better, probably 5 times better than in his country. That's worth it. Now, this is the opportunities that better prosperity is some things that always discussed in any developing countries as a teachers. There are many teachers that getting underpaid, right? But by doing the job that my participant here, Rodriguez, do here, he can get better prosperity. All he just needs is to teach abroad. And also, he said to me that he has less workload compared to his country, almost no paperwork because everything is already crafted by the institution, the curriculum. You just need to prepare lesson plans, and there is also someone who handles the assessment. Also, the assessment is already crafted too. Everything is crafted. So I already crafted from the beginning. So all he needs to do is just to teach and do casual assessment all the time. Less workload, that means less pressure, that means less stress. And also don't forget large class, the class size that he got there. If you teach in a developed country, you probably will not meet this large class size, not like in Indonesia or the Philippines. In Indonesia or Philippines, we can have around 50 to 80 students in a classroom. Can you imagine the pressure of teaching those 80 students and make sure that they are learning properly and educated properly? Well, that's a big pressure, and you only get paid what? Not get paid good enough, I believe. And also, we finally go into the teacher's reflection here. That my Rodriguez said that when I asked him about the privilege of native English teachers, he already understands the privileges of native English teachers is something that is expected. You cannot fight against their privileges. After all, they have the language, right? The native English teachers, they are flexible. Flexible entry means that he can go to any country with just his passport. And also don't forget about the preference. If an English, if educational institution has the power to hire native English teachers rather than non-native English teachers, they mostly prefer to hire native English teachers, right? So that's the privilege of native English teachers. Also, because he understands those privileges as non-native English teachers, we have to study and improve a lot because we can also be a good teachers too. And probably in his cases, his students also always satisfied with his performance as a teacher. That means we can also be a good non-native English teachers. In a previous study, they discussed about this too. It's not about your origin or nationality. It's about your skills as a teacher, how the students like you, how the students got impacted by your performance as a teacher. Also, my participant Rodriguez here did not meet any form of discrimination. They shared the same facilities, same housing, same transportation, but the only thing that is different, like in any other studies, is only the salaries. It's something usual if native English teachers receive 2 or 3 times higher salary than non-native English teachers. Also, the final word that he said to me that we non-native English teachers, we should go abroad, teach abroad. Our homeland, our country cannot afford us, cannot afford our prosperity properly. If this happens a lot, there is no other choice. We need to teach abroad to pursue a better prosperity. We cannot expect them in 1 year or 5 years to suddenly can pay all of the teachers properly. I think it's not possible at the moment. Like in Philippines, the government support its citizens to work abroad. It seems like if you don't have the money to pay you to be prosperous, let's make other countries pay you, go abroad. They have official channel here. They have official channel to support its citizens to work abroad, including teachers. I don't know about Indonesia. I think I need to have a look about this, but so far as I know, we don't have any official channel to work abroad, including teaching abroad. Now let's have a discussion here. What can we learn from Rodriguez's story? Yeah. So here's the thing. We are teachers. We want better prosperity. We have enough of getting paid by lunch money. We want to have better prosperity, of course. As students, pre-service English teachers understand the risk of getting underpaid. But please do not let it stop you. In this article, I would like to inspire you. So let's make Rodriguez a role model for all of us, right? So for this, let's discuss about recognizing his self and staying productive. What does it mean by recognizing yourself? That means understanding yourself, your capabilities. You as a person, you as a teacher. At the beginning, in taking his BA degree, he decided to choose which one that is the easiest for you to finish. I don't think many people with that is given opportunity think about this. Can you finish this major properly? Despite working, despite studying hard, of course, by studying hard, you can finish any major properly, but it will be much better if you study hard and you study about something that you already like, you like before, right? And also, when he understands the risks, the situations that he could not pick any teaching job during semester break, he decided to stay productive by applying to another teaching job. So there is transformative development here. So according to Rohotility, yeah, transformative development for a teachers, when you decide to renegotiate with situations that you are facing, that the challenges that you are facing, this is transformative development. If you decide to defend, to not do anything, decide to give up, that means you are defending your identities, the situation that you are in. You are not trying to solve the issue. But here, from Rodriguez's stories, we learn how he picked decisions, how it shows the transformative development that happened, that he chooses as a teacher. So when the first thing that we learned, when he was on a verge of, in a situation that is stressful for him, and the pay was not really good. So did he decide to just stay in that situation and and hope that someday things will get better in that school? Well, I don't think so, and probably it will change in the next 10 years. So instead of waiting, he decided to take action, take a better opportunities, go teach abroad. That's what he decided back then to solve this problem. And also, instead of staying unproductive during the semester break, he decided to be productive. I don't think some of us try our best to be productive. This is a good role model, And understanding expectation and environment. You see, he accepted there is a privilege for native English teachers and understand this well. So despite arguing nonsense about this situation, he decided to improve what can be done, which is improving our skills, taking better educations, taking trainings, taking workshops to improve ourselves to be a better teacher, right? After all, it's not about which one is better, depends on your nationalities. No, it's about your work ethic and performance as teacher. It's more valuable than nationalities after all. And also, not only he renegotiated and has transformative development during his time teaching abroad, he also got many self-development. I told you before that he decided to adapt. For example, he avoided the habits that is not customary to the local custom. For example, he could not drink liquor in Saudi Arabia, so he decided not to drink liquor. He only drinks in a country that allows to do so. When in Rome, follow the Romans, I think that's what they said about this, right? This is a good self-development for us, trying to adapt to a new culture. This will make us to be more open-minded, good self-development. And also, he is now, let's say, he is a multi-bilingual right now, not just a bilingual. He can speak Tagalog, Arabic, and English, and probably some Hindi. This happened because he teach abroad. Imagine if he stayed in Philippines. If he stayed in Philippines, I don't think it would be possible for him to get exposed in learning opportunities of other language. He also understand the challenges of us as non-native English teachers. There is some kind of preference of hiring native English teachers, and he understand despite talking nonsense and trying to argue about the situation, he tries to improve. And I already talked this a lot before, right? This is a good self-development. Right now, he's taking a magister study. For what? To improve himself as a non-native English teacher. He said that this is the only thing that we can do as non-native English teachers. Most of native English teachers that he encountered, he said, those native English teachers do not have higher education than us non-native English teachers. So this is our advantage. We need to keep improving as a teacher. He already does it right now by taking magister study. And also, according to the article that through Hostility written back then about teacher agency and identity, I can say that Rodriguez here has shown his additive development. He shows that he has self-sense of authority that helps him to overcome challenges as a teacher. According to his story, his struggle of teaching in his country, getting underpaid, getting much pressure, he knows what's best for him, for his family, and he decided to go abroad. When he arrives on a strange land, he knows what to do to make sure he is adjusted to the custom, make sure that he has many opportunities for him than challenges by adapting and overcoming challenges around here through learning languages, learning its custom, getting more educated. That's good self-development that Rodriguez has right now. And I would like to talk about discrimination a little bit. Yeah, I would like to clarify this once again. In terms of discrimination, previous studies that I put here also mentioned there is no form of discrimination that the participants encountered, including in my study here. The only form of discrimination that is reported in my study and previous studies is salary gap. That's it. For example, I got $500. The non-native could get $1,000. That's it. But the facilities, the treatment of employer to the employee, employee to employee, they have most respect. But after all, also, well, the salary gap is not really a big problem after all, despite you receive less than the native English teachers. What we got there, it's still better. Yeah, it's still better. Also, probably one of you asked why educational institutions right now decided to hire non-native English teachers and native English teachers a lot. In the study conducted by ULA, Thailand government decided to hire as many as they can to hire native English teachers and non-native English teachers, there is a reason behind that. The reason is they want to increase exposure of English towards their citizen. That's it. And also in any other country. So what can we do as non-native English teachers right now from the story of Rodriguez here? We have opportunities, of course, to learn foreign language, other foreign language besides our mother tongue and English. If we decided to teach abroad, this is a good opportunity to be a bilingual. And also as a teacher, despite you want to go abroad or not, we still need to have better education. If you have the opportunity to go abroad, and to get better education, better training and certification, you need to take it. That's what my participants do right now. My participant does right now. And also we have to prepare the challenges if you want to teach abroad. We understand the native English teachers, they have better chance than us. And don't forget, Rodriguez said, if you are applying for a job of teaching abroad, you also have competitors from other countries, from Philippines, from Thailand, and from any other countries. So we need to make sure that we are internationally acceptable as an English teacher, because we are not only competing with the native, we are also competing with the non-native. And this will help you to understand the privilege of non-native English teachers. We cannot change it. We can only do what's best for us to improve ourselves as a non-native English teachers if we want to teach abroad. So what have we learned from this study? So far, I feel that my manuscript is something that can be learned a lot. It's not like talking about bachelor thesis at all. It's like sharing motivation and guidance for my audience. I hope this will be accepted to the court. So right now, let's just go to the conclusion, what this study tried to accomplish. So I told you before that as a guidance and inspiring read, this is what the study is all about for in service of or pre-service English teachers. For us, especially Indonesian, I understand that every year teachers always getting underpaid, and we try to convince the government to do better in paying the teachers, especially teachers in public schools. But I still heard many complaints. For example, my teachers only get paid around 2.1 million rupiahs a month. Despite him being an engineer, he is teaching in a vocational high school. You see, my friend said that if my teacher thought not teaching, if my teachers decided to work in a private company, he would get 10 times better than what he got right now in school. But instead, an engineer teaching at vocational high school only get 2.1 million rupiahs a month, around 150 or $160. That's quite sad, actually. But we cannot, right now, as a student right now, we cannot force the government to pay the teachers properly. What we can do right now is to make sure that we are internationally acceptable. I don't think Rodriguez here will be able to teach in Saudi Arabia if he is not internationally acceptable. If he cannot show what can he do, if he cannot show that he is also a good teacher compared to the other non-native English teacher, compared to the native English teachers. We need to be an internationally accepted English teacher. We also provided the details how to teach abroad and inspiration for my participant Rodriguez here, that we can learn a lot how to be an internationally accepted teacher and how to teach abroad. He got opportunity back then in his country and he took it. After all, the reasons why we want to teach abroad, the reason why Rodriguez wanted to teach abroad and right now he is teaching abroad is to pursue better prosperity and better experience. All right, that is a good talk, I guess, but I must assure you that this study has a lot of limitations. First thing, the study cannot be generalized. The findings, the discussions here cannot be generalized. If you want something generalized, I need to do some kind of experimental study. But right now, considering my abilities and capability, I don't think it will be possible for me to do any experimental study regarding teachers' prosperity. This is the best that I can do. I can only, if you want to pursue a better prosperity as a teacher, you need to be internationally accepted teachers. Okay, so you can teach abroad, teach in Thailand, for example. You get twice or three times better prosperity here than in teaching in Indonesia. And also the second one, the limitation of the study that we lack diversity in terms of participant. We only got one participant because he is a close friend of mine, and I would like to explore his story deeply right now. And probably if I manage to bring more participants, there will be a lot of details that I can present on my study. Also, this is the third one is also a problem for us Indonesian. In Indonesia, we are not treating English as second language. In Philippines, English is a second language. That means you can go to the market, buy something, and say and communicate with English. But here in Indonesia, we are still treating English as foreign language. You go to the market, the only form of communication is probably speaking in Indonesian or speaking in a local language like Sundanese or Javanese, for example, not English. So probably if you are, if you want to find more details about how to teach abroad in future studies, I suggest you to bring participants that is from countries that regards English as foreign language. Probably you can have some details or insight that is similar for us Indonesian that have, you know, problems in teaching prosperity. Because you see, I asked him many times about, have you ever encountered an Indonesian teacher teaching abroad? He said that he never encountered any. This gave me a red flag, gave me a red flag because is there any Indonesian out there teaching in public schools or international schools abroad? Probably I heard some professors teaching in other countries, of course, yeah. But us, bachelor graduates teaching in other countries, public school or something like that, I think it's still rare. So it will help us a lot, especially as Indonesian, if we hear the story from someone that is from countries that regard English as a foreign language. We have many limitations here if we want to teach abroad. We don't have a lot of, I personally don't have a lot of connection to teach abroad, and we don't have official channel to teach abroad. Their government, Philippine government, have official website for the citizen to teach abroad. They said that every citizens who wants to teach abroad, Philippine citizen who wants to teach abroad, the government needs to have a say about it or have a supervision about their contract or something like that. In Indonesia, I think according to the experience that I have experienced, mostly if you want to go to work abroad, we go through private channel, not government channel. And also, I have a suggestion for future studies. I told you that the studies cannot be generalized. Probably the future studies that I plan, and probably some of you that that you want to plan that. In order, I told you many times, if we want to teach abroad, comparing ourselves to Rodriguez before we teach abroad, we need to be internationally accepted English teachers. So I think it will be better for this study to get more justifications by providing any future studies that relates to some kind of training program that aims its member to be internationally accepted English teachers. I have something in mind. I have began I have begun writing it, but it's not done yet. It has needs some research and some discussion with my professors, of course. But it will be good if there's some kind of training program and it's been discussed, it's being researched too, and to see its impact that can be generalized, especially its impact on teachers' prosperity in developing countries like us. All right, I think that's enough for me. I think we are more than 15 minutes. I hope the major can accept that. Well, this makes me nervous about the hearing. I don't know if I can convince the adjudicators with limited time. Wish me all the best, everyone. All right, thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. And if you have any question, please ask me anytime. My door is always open for anyone who wants to learn about English. And also, please provide me your feedback, what can be improved about my manuscript and what can be improved about myself as a person and as a teacher. Thank you so much and have a marvelous day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.